Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. We have a 3v3 for you guys today on what has to be my favorite 3v3 map in all of Wargame. Of course, that is the 2v2 version of Highway to Seoul. Now, I'm going up toward Delta. My teammates, Hun and almost Crippling Depression, are going to Echo and Golf respectively. Now, this was, it was a really intense match, so it's actually pretty short, only about 17 minutes of play, and my opener is very tank heavy, so I have two Merkava 3D Basses. These are 180 points, some of the heaviest tanks you can bring in the entire game, 22 frontal armor, 23 AP power, excellent gun, excellent rounds, rate of fire rounds per minute and all that, and my whole goal is to just get up into Delta and not stop if I don't have to. So pushing in, making sure I have enough chaff, which was a bit of an issue, of course, when you're spending nearly 400 points on super heavy tanks at the beginning. That can be a little bit light on everything else on that side of the board. But this is what makes team games so much fun to play. Of course, Hun is doing some of that for me here with double DAP. Now running into a K52 and an Mi-24V is a little rough, and there was just a huge air investment. So the player with the, I believe, Chinese name should have been over in Charlie fighting against Crippling Depression, but brought double MiG, and my answering Barak 2 was a little bit of an impulse buy here. But I just thought, maybe we can clear the skies a little bit. We get one MiG, not quite able to get the other, unfortunately, as he did only have 1 point in strength left. But that Barak 2 also means that I'm not going to be able to buy chaff or other things that I need for the Delta push quite as easily. I just felt a little bit bad because Hun got doubled right at the beginning with lots of mobile assets, and the Mi-24V is very hard to deal with for that sort of, I guess you probably rush him with both the DAPs, but keep in mind, the Igla has a lot longer range, so that can be kind of an issue when you run into it. So, I have a Machbet, I have lots of Rovite in Zeldas, Draken moving up on the right-hand side, I think actually 4 double stacks of Rovite and Zeldas, just because I figured, the boxes will die, the Rovite will die, and as long as I can get the Merkava 3D Baz guns online, we'll be decently alright. Now, Crippling Depression is taking advantage of the fact that we saw 2 MiGs from that player over on the other side of the board, so he's moving in pretty aggressively, Kuz Diegri 90, and lots of other sort of assets going there. And we do have Hun now chasing that Mi-24V, probably waiting for him to use a couple more of those Iglas to make sure that his DAPs are relatively safe. Now, we have Komandussy in the middle lane, and he is a colonel. He is, I think, on the Discord. He wasn't at the time, but has been in a couple of games with us already before, and is always a terrifyingly good opponent. Of course, I am not a colonel. I am, at the time of this game anyway, a second lieutenant. At time of recording, first lieutenant now, happily so, but I will see that change a little bit later on. And his Twardys are going to town. So PT91 Twardys, 155 points each. These guys, very capable tanks. The one thing they can't really deal with, though, Merkava 3D Bazes, and I'm losing a lot of points here. But taking a look at what I'm moving up into, T55s, 25 points each. BWP2Ds, 25 points each. And if I can start peeling those kills, peeling those units off of Komandussy's field, that will make up for a lot of this carnage going in against my Zeldas and Rovite. And we've actually pretty much already paid for the entirety of my Rovite and Zeldas, and some of them are still alive, doing well, so we haven't even lost all those tools. As to my original goal here, just trying to move forward, I do get a little bit intercepted by Lucian, who's moving an Mi-24 VP over, and the amount of doubling up here was pretty impressive for a public lobby. Of course, my own team is on the Discord, it was not quite public in that sense, but Komandussy, Lucian, and the third guy, the Corporal, I don't think knew each other beforehand. T80 UK from Lucian, and you have to be really careful here. So this is spotted, we have riflemen forward, we have light riflemen on that side, more infantry moving pretty far up, and not even really recon anything here, just infantry close enough to see this guy. Of course, he is using that reflex ATGM, which is decreasing his stealth by increasing the sound that that tank is making. Just sitting there, yeah, when he's not firing, he's not visible. When he fires, yeah, you're going to see that tank every time and twice on Sundays. So, Han and I were talking about that, trying to figure out how we wanted to deal with that T80 UK, and we're going to be bringing out a para, of all things, from my vehicle tab to try and deal with it at range, and then just bring that tool online here as well. So 3D Baz is moving forward, and there are the Twardys right there, taking out my Eye Shermans, just having a good, grand old time, and I want the kill, so don't do this. I was exposing side armor just because I wanted to get that greedy kill here, and both of those ATGMs are swing and a miss, so Not worth it, not worth the risk. Could have lost these bases in here now right now, and my new chaff is not there yet, so we'll wait on moving forward. I've lost pretty much all of it, but we do have a pretty commanding position, so relatively far forward into Delta, Hun helping me out with double Abrams as well as some riflemen. The double Abrams is very capable at anything that the Merkava 3D bases don't kill. So Brock 2 does get a kill, and there's a T-72 M1 mod yet again, another player moving that super heavy tank into the middle of the board, and I was feeling a little bit, well, not resentful, shall we say, but certainly a little bit unhappy, because the better coordination the enemy team has, usually a much harder game that's going to turn out to be. Nighthawk call, by the way, does not quite get the kill, also does not prompt him moving, so usually you get Nighthawked on your command vehicle, you're going to be sitting there going, something here has gone wrong. But oddly enough, no movement there. He's at 1 strength, look at that. Survived with 1 strength left from that Nighthawk. Oh man. Well, what happens to me and my tank survives on 1, I'll be equally as grateful now, as I am kind of frustrated we didn't get the kill there. Light Rifleman nearly getting it too. And this was pretty interesting. So the MAR 290, just preemptive fire farther back. A lot of people on the red force side of the board will use this as a staging ground. So I figured, why let them do that for free? Let's just stun all of this, let's damage all of it. There was some infantry back there too that actually died, I think, to that round of artillery. And that works for me. I'm quite happy with it. Grovite and Zelda should start screening a little bit, and I was kind of concerned that we lost both of these sections of building, but as long as it's not there forever, gone forever, we should be more or less okay. Echo is red, and we don't really have much over there, but the fight in Gulf Charlie is going decently well, and the fight over Delta seemed kind of promising. Now, my Draken gets a little bit lucky here, probably should have lost him to the Scout 2 AM, but we get back and out of range, and that little infantry fighting vehicle, I guess, does not get the kill that he's looking for. Now, we have watched the mod move into this section of woods. There's double Twardy back there. My Zeldas are arriving. I am starting to get more chaff up and forward, and I kind of forgot about the Sherman's calls, by the way. They were supposed to be moving up as well. I just figured, you know what, we'll use those Lahats, we'll take out anything that we can. Every little kill goes toward making these guys pay for themselves, particularly when there's no single unit on the ground that can pay for them in one go, right? So 180 points apiece, there's nothing. Even the T-72 M1 mod, okay, yeah, there's a command tank. M2, A2 Bradley, and the Para looking for it, and the Para gets the kill. So very happy with that. 200 point kill off of this 110 point ATGM vehicle. So right now you can probably see, yeah, we're up a fair bit on value. And with the commanding position in Charlie and in Delta, often that's enough to win the game, particularly when Echo is no longer capped, and we're no longer losing points there. And I wanted these Twardys so badly. I mean, just very, very badly. And I'm not in a good position to get them, so nice play here from Komandussy, making use of the woods, trying to get in to kill some of my units without getting hit, but unfortunately taken out by a Fennec Totu from Crippling Depression on the side. And that Crippling Depression will always get you in the end, man, I swear. It's some rough stuff, and that Fennec Totu was perfectly positioned. It originally brought up to Spartan Charlie, and then just over when the Red 4 teammate Komandussy didn't expect it. I was kind of surprised there wasn't more smoke on these Twardys during the game. But, I don't know, it's pretty chaotic, it's a team game after all, and with the T-72M1 mod, he might not have thought we were going for him. I was also trying to get a kill with the Nimrod, but we didn't quite have an angle, so I was looking for it, we didn't get it, we're going to be dropping that off, and then using the Nimrod to screen out all of these tanks, as, believe it or not, a firing control reset means that my Rovait aren't dead, which was pretty crazy. He of course is still able to fire that secondary NSVT, but it's not a very powerful gun, so forcing him back there, and we get the kill. A couple of Ice Shermans really pounding into him, and the 3D Bazes shooting in as well. So that's double Twardy gone, and with that, most of the enemy's main strength. So they're going to have to, if they have any chance of coming back here, do a lot of recovering, prep a big push, grind us out, and start getting a little bit better trades than they were at the time, which of course the T-72 M1 mod at range can do. I am losing Ice Shermans here, just trying to move up and into the woods, get in, but maybe a little bit later than would have been ideal. We don't keep the stealth for very long, so Eriko Zekri will be spotting all of that, and that's why the Ice Shermans were moving over there as well, trying to get long-range fire in, and the next volley from these Ice Shermans should be enough to kill if we maintain line of sight, which we don't. So, little unfortunate there. I was really hoping to kill the Eriko Zekri, but there's always a second engagement. If the Dragoner move up, if we get a little bit closer in, that should be alright. Now, Kurnos is going after the T-72M1 mod. If we just take a look here for just a second, that's 4 top armor. This is an unlikely kill. So we get both missiles away and a little bit of a swing and a miss. So I lost tracking right at the very end into fire position instead of a right click, and very much did not work out quite as well as I had hoped. But you win some, you lose some, and of course with Kurnos's, you will get an opportunity to try again decently soon. So, Sherman sparring with Twardies, I'm kind of surprised they were shooting in at all, but it's heat rounds, right? So this will really take you by surprise sometimes. Para snagging one of those kills as well. Heat does a guaranteed 1 damage when it hits armor, regardless of the armor value, unless the armor value is low enough that it does additional. But the minimum, the floor on your damage, is 1 damage per hit. Double Syria, this was pretty scary. I think at this point, one of the Red 4 players had already dropped out, and Komandussy was just getting tired of these 2 3D bases in the center. But I pulled them back far enough, he lost line of sight, and that is going to be a hard thing to deal with indeed. Now, ISO 90 spotted, and I had originally queued up artillery for right here, but Crippling was moving faster than I expected. So he has Fallskirmjäger, I don't want to do any sort of friendly fire. We're going to be retasking that Mar-290. It's about halfway done aiming in a little farther back, looking for the back line of that Red 4 player in Charlie. With Delta Cap, we are of course taking +1, 28 minutes possible in the game, and a +1 tick with a relatively confident position that even if we can't clear Echo, we can certainly countercap Echo, and they're not going to be able to countercap Delta comfortably for quite a while. Lots of artillery coming in, and it does kind of make you wonder a little bit. I don't usually call in a lot of backline and air tab stuff these days when I'm behind on the board position, because even if you get a couple of good kills, that didn't really pay for itself, and it's not really going to pay for itself on its own for quite a while. What you want with that sort of artillery are, you want stuns, you want chip damage, you want things where your units that are forward can get the finisher on that kill. Now this was a little bit messy, my Pera is panicked, he was getting shot out, the Twardy missed his first shot, but he doesn't have to miss his second, and even though he pounded into his frontal armor, very nice targeting priority there from Komandussy, picking out that Pera and saying, hey, yeah, you're gone. It's not going to be a good day. It's not going to be what you want. It's not going to be the engagement that I wanted, really, with that Para. Taking out, hopefully, another Twardy and just not quite able to do it. So, that felt a little rough. Now, keep in mind, we'd already gotten about 300-some points in kills off the Para, so it's not the end of the world. But it always hurts to lose something that expensive and that capable. So, Fallskirmjäger moving forward, and here comes the artillery, stunning the Red 4 infantry in that section. Not able to get really many kills there, and I was hoping a lot of people put their command vehicle right here, but it turns out that the command infantry for the Red 4 player was back here protected by a mod. So this guy's just sitting right on top of it, 1 point in strength left, and just still alive, which is pretty crazy, right? Because it's nearly dead, and if that 185 NO2 doesn't reload quickly, he's going to be dead as well to the M1 mod. Look at that. Ooh, oh, okay. Yeah, got the shot, and the Stab really won't be able to survive that long against him. So, Han to Hun here, moving forward through Echo like a crazy man, and that's going to prompt a surrender. I guess that was the first surrender of the game. If we cap Echo, that's going to be a +3 now for us, as Charlie is also clear, and this has been a little bit of a sweep, but I had so much fun in the engagement here with the 3D bases that I wanted to talk about it. Plus, any game where Paras get that many kills, even if you do lose them, is always a fun game as well. So, I think we should have some ranked games for you guys here pretty soon. I've been trying to do a couple more of those as I get more comfortable playing the game, and there are a bunch of approaches to ranked. There's a lot of people I know that will play it quite often, and they practice quite a lot, and they get a lot better with that too, because you're facing that constant unknown 1v1 situation. But it's not my cup of tea all the time. It's pretty stressful comparatively. I love team games because they're fun. Ranked games with 1v1s, you certainly do have a bit more of a stress factor on your own play, so I'll be getting more into it. That's just the explanation on why I haven't quite already, is, you know, you play games to have fun, and my favorite moments on these are games like this, where there's solid teamwork on our side. Yeah, you know, oftentimes I do like the knockdown, drag-out, back-and-forth fights a little bit better, but it's always nice to have a game like this every once in a while where you sit there going, yeah, we work together well as a team, we're doing some good stuff, it's a good time, and, well, maybe the other team isn't quite so happy, but we certainly are. Now, I think the Mar-290 actually did get a kill there, No. 2 points in strength left. I must have been thinking about a different game where I took out a super heavy with a Mar-290, because that block 5 is going to be clearing out the super heavy tank instead. Now, block 5, one of the best planes in the game for anti-tank work, certainly, and that is going to lock down Delta almost without question. So, very happy for that. And we only have a couple of minutes left here, about 2 minutes left. I do want to show you guys the MVP units for my team, but right now I'm just going in with a Brock 2. And check this out. The Python 4, 60% accuracy, 60% stabilizer, 5 HE power. You only get 2 of them, but this Syria right now is completely healthy. Both of them are. And we get 1 hit, second hit, there's the kill, and we weren't even using the long-range missiles on that. The derbies were out for quite a while before then, and it's a 120-point tank kill, so I'm a happy man. Kurnos going in one more time after that Wilk, not able to get the kill there either. It was a little bit rough, but since the Kurnos gets out, that's sort of the final nail in the coffin on this Red 4 advances. I think we were up, if memory serves, we'll see in just a second, but it was definitely a pretty wide margin, particularly for the 16, 17 minutes that we've been playing the game so far, and just a Nimrod there to sort of put that final nail in the coffin. I love Nimrods. I think they're very capable for the point cost. I'd almost rather have a Nimrod than a longbow, believe it or not, because I can never keep the longbows alive, you know? It's such an expensive investment, and the second you lose it, it's a really big swing in favor of your opponent if you're not super careful and didn't get your value out of that beforehand. So I like the Nimrod. I think it's a little bit difficult to learn how to use, and I still struggle with that very often. But when it works big. So, in terms of kills losses, 44-73, 26-95, inside of 18 minutes, so 17 minutes, 14 seconds, and pretty happy with my own KD, 1751 to 930, but Hun and Crippling also did very well, and Crippling probably had a harder fight over there on the right-hand side on his own, while as I had the help of Hun in the center of that match. So, MVPs are going to be the Barak 2, taking out a Finnish MiG, Polish MiG, and a Soviet PU, which, yeah, don't underestimate these Barak 2s. They have a little bit quirky missiles, but very high accuracy on them. The 3D bases didn't get the most kills here, but they certainly made their presence known and forced Komandussy to continually retreat, which in its own is it's a tactical win, even if it's not a points on board sort of win for these two tanks in particular. Para, T80 UK, Twardy, very happy with that. And the Mar-290 did get a couple of kills, including a goofy kill on a Salamandra. So I have really been enjoying playing Israel lately, and I highly recommend it to anyone who's looking for... it's a bit more of a mechanized style of play, but it certainly can be very fun when you get their units working well. So that's going to be all we've got for you guys today. Thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.